Welcome to another one of my Slayer loot and guide hybrid videos, this one featuring Basilisk Knights, the stronger version of Basilisks. They're killed for one reason only mainly, and that is for the Basilisk jaw drop, which upgrades the helm of Neat is Not into the Neat is Not face guard, providing increased defensive and more importantly strength bonuses. The jaw is not common though, and yes, this video will prove that, and yeah, it shouldn't scare you hopefully. Basilisk Knights require level 60 Slayer and the Fremenic Exiles quest to access the level 204 combat and found in the Yorgaman prison where you fought the final quest boss. And yes, they can be assigned by Konar here too. They attack with strong magic and melee attacks, so protection prayers are required, as well as a mirror shield or a V shield to avoid damage and drain stats. They also have a special attack where they encase the player in stone for a few seconds, and the player must set themselves free, though leaving Auto-retaliate on does this for them, and if not they will take heavy damage. In terms of the drops, the Basilisk Jaw is the main one to talk about, and it rolls as a tertiary drop, so yes, rolls separately to all the other potential drops, has a drop rate of 1 in 5,000, which is then increased to 1 in 1,000 when on a Basilisk Slayer task. Therefore, grinding for the Jaw off task is not a wise option unless you happen to get extremely lucky. The regular drops are average, really just runes, alcohols, noted herbs and coins, so you can also get the Mystic Hat Light at a rate of 1 in 256, and that is a tertiary drop as well. Other drops rolled separately include the Basilisk Head, which is the same rate as the Jaw on task, 1 in 1,000, and the Long and Curved Bones as well, 1 in 400 and 1 in 5,014, and then Hard Clue Scrolls of 1 in 192, and Brimstone Keys on Konar tasks at 1 in 63. The average Basilisk Knight kill on task is currently worth 22k, assuming you get the Jaw on rate, so they're actually quite a profitable Slayer task, but yes, that is a big if, and you will see why in my final loot. You can use either range or melee against Basilisk Knights, and the split for my total kill count, which you'll see at the end, was probably about 50-50 in terms of the combat styles, and yes, you will need the V shield or the mirror shield for both setups. For melee, I used a max melee setup with the Zamorakian Hasta and Grazi Rapier as my main weapons, although Basilisk Knights are weaker to crush than stab, the Rapier still overpowers the Zami Hasta when on a Slayer task. When ranging, this was my setup and you may be a little bit perplexed, but Basilisk Knights have 0 range defense bonuses, so you barely need any accuracy at all to hit them successfully on task, and instead can maximize prayer bonus. That said, the Armadillo Crossbow and Diamond Dragon Bolts E do help a lot with that, so I'm not exactly sure how good this would be with a Rune Crossbow and Diamond Bolts E. The prayer bonus here though saves a ton of potions and it makes the task quite AFK too. Your inventory also depends on which combat style you use. For melee, I'll bring much more food, otherwise it's super combat potions, prayer potions, a rune pouch with bones to peaches and alchemy runes in, so lava, water and nature runes. For the special attack weapon, I like to use the Dragon Warhammer just to speed up some of the kills, and yes, the hammer pretty much almost hits due to the low crush defense of the Basilisk Knights. The Fremenic Boots 4 are there for the close teleport to the area. For range it's similar, but replace the super combat potions with ranging potions plus a bit of food if using divines, and you will take the occasional melee hit, but the range method does involve actually kind of safe spotting the basilisk, so they will only use magic attacks on you. The rune pouch contains the same runes as above, and yes, for special attacks I just use the ACB spec, or I don't really bother using one. You'll be using Protect from Magic for the entirety of every kill, as this attack is a lot harder than the melee attack. When ranging, as I said, you won't be in melee range anyway for most of the kills. I'll just show you the special attack quickly, as otherwise there's not too much to say about these monsters. The Basilisk will launch a small red ball that can be avoided if the player is fast enough, though if not they will be frozen in place for a few seconds and unable to attack, but with Auto-retaliate on, the player automatically breaks out and continues attacking as normal. Basilisk Knights will start off aggressive to the player but do become tolerant after around 10 minutes. They're quite AFK and a chilled out task when ranging, and the kills an hour are probably around 50 to 55. With the melee it's a little bit less AFK, as you will have to eat more as the melee attack does. I like to hit the occasional 20 on you, but it is more kills an hour, I'd say, being about 60 to 65 with a max melee setup, and that's not using piety either, so potentially even more. I will just mention the superior that can spawn from Basilisk Knight. It's called the Basilisk Sentinel, and yes, this cool looking giant is the same as a normal Basilisk Knight in pretty much everything, but it is incredibly tanky and probably the dumbest superior in my opinion in the game. It's only a level 61 but has over 500 hit points, and yeah, it's pretty horrible to deal with when you're meleeing, to be honest, but ranging it's kind of just the same as before. May have to use Rigor as it's, yeah, as I said, a lot more tankier, but to be honest, it could just be a boss. So anyway, how long did it take me to grind out this Basilisk Jaw after 2 Basilisk heads in 1300 kills? I had a feeling it was going to be a long one, yes. All of my kills were done on a Slayer task too, so the drop rate all the time was at 1 in 1000, and yes, the Jaw did finally come at 2,679 kill count, and it was certainly a relief to say the least. It was down to 16 mil when I got it as a drop, but it had previously been in the low 20 mil range a short while back. I'd say about half of the kills were done with melee and half with range, and yeah, certainly preferred ranging them. Here's all of the loot that I received on my way to that, coming to around 28 mil in total, or 12 mil not including the jaw, so yeah, pretty important to get that dropper. The hard clues weren't tracked directly, but would have probably added around 1.5 mil if we're looking at the average casket. So yeah, if you don't get the jaw, it's probably a break-even task at best, I'd say, due to the heavy supply usage. So there you have it, that was my grind to get the Basilisk Jaw. Yes, I am a main account, I'm not an iron, so I can just buy it from the Grand Exchange, and I probably did at some point during that time, but yeah, wanted the item to be in my collection log too. I also spent so much time on these already, so I kind of had the mindset of, there's not really much point giving up and getting the drop if I've already put this much time into it, but yeah, I can safely say now, Basilisks are disabled and I won't be assigned them or returning to the Jorgemund prison anytime soon. Yes, it certainly lives up to the name of prison. If you are an iron, I'd certainly not wish for you to go dry on these monsters, as yes, they're pretty annoying to get the tasks for, as well as slow and quite supply draining. So yes, best of luck on your jaw grinds, everyone.